Hello! It is I, technically. So, I'm back doing this. I've decided to, hello! I've decided to, change up the score here. If you can see the way this looks, we're going to speed run writing a novel. That's the new plan. I'm putting I'm putting a timer up. Cuz now we're in the shit. All right? I'm almost 8,000 words in or something like that. That's actual work time. We got to get down to doing it and finish it, and then I'll just put it out like a Kendrick album. I'll just drop it. And it'll go to number 0 on the charts. This is how we're doing it. This is both how we're doing it and how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Yeah. Why not? You know? I was thinking about why I'm doing any of this. And the thought came to me of like, this is a microcosm of my entire life. I just start doing stuff, and then later on, maybe it'll come in handy to have done it. Maybe. Who knows? That's it. Played the drums. Maybe it'll come in handy later to have played the drums for years. Stand up, writing, talking, sporting, all of it. Once you just start doing it, and then it'll have been done. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna fucking get right to it. We're just gonna do it. I don't even know why. So this is what's gonna happen next. We're gonna put on some tunes. I'm gonna write some stuff. Everybody can hang out. Provide a cool space to chill. And that's it. Go. Oh God. To keep the door open back door from catching. He entered at the planned time. All right. Now we're going to get into some big, stupid paragraphs. Let's see how dumb we can get. So, sometimes when I am doing things the way that I'm doing them, I like to demonstrate that also I don't need to not do them like this or do them differently. I can do that. I can do it if you want me to. I choose not to of my own accord. And you wouldn't know that that's what I'm doing unless I did the opposite. So I have to, in essence, not do what I normally do in order to show you that I am doing what it is that I'm doing. Surreptitious inspections and or theft. The posters unironically reminiscent of Soviet propaganda. Proper noun because we are aware All right, and this straight up is a paragraph that I would never accept. So it's staying in. Yet here I am, he thought. Like any good decision, I am running towards what I'm running away from. Running from. From this direction, I'm I think hitting from the back? What? I'm hitting from the back. I'm hitting from... What does that mean? That can't be the word that I wrote. Was that a sex thing? What? All right. I don't believe that Rade is describing hitting from the back here. So I must have miswritten that word. Leading from the back. I'm from this direction. From this position. I can totally see how the compromise was reached. He's an LCD Sound System fan. Huh. Oh, that's right. See, I adjusted the thing so I don't have to keep doing it all the goddamn time. You know, sometimes I forget that you can just adjust the size of the window. All right. Oh, great. Psychic. Not where he's going. He don't need no stinking blueprints. He knew the place better than the outside. Obviously, he found his way to the target effortlessly. And groans were identical. And thus predictable. The first gamble. Most nights, if he were talking to someone else, some nights, if he was being honest with him, some nights, if he was being honest with himself, no, we gotta adjust that. That's trash. Trash. All right. Most nights. Most nights. Most nights. Most nights. Most nights. The door to the control was left unlocked. Cindy's general Generous influence led to lax security. If Rade could get inevitably, so, all right. We need to have inevitably there. It changes the context of the entire sentence. Cindy's generous influence led to lax security suggests that it's just Cindy. But in this case, if I put inevitably in there, then Cindy's generous influence is similar to all generous influences leading to lax security. Sometimes adverbs are very, very important. Sometimes you must run from them. If Rade could get in undetected, he could go room to room, evacuating the inmates himself, and then fire would evacuate all the oxygen. Like most gambles, this one didn't pay out. He pushed and pulled on the latch with no success. Double or nothing. Three doors down. Because I want everyone to ask themselves, is he making a reference to the... he will have the band. Old West Jail. Three doors down, one of the guards will have the key. This is him thinking, so we can put different specifics in there. All right. Like it's an old Westy times jail. They can't be keeping keys on a giant ring attached to their hanging from their belt. Casually. Loosely? No, just hanging from their belt. Don't need casually. Don't need an adverb there. See? This is the danger. And then we hit the punchline. They put them on a hook by the door. Next to the door. The punch. The guards themselves never locked their doors. The only obstacle was the noisy key itself. Or we can just do that. We don't need that there. We don't need that there. All right, back at it. It's purchased with cash from a hardware store in Seneca. Put the left. I put the left. Put the left hand on. That would be fun if there was a. I think it would be great if I got into novels done quick. That would be my favorite charity site. Well, we would. It might be more than a week. Although Douglas Adams has written a book in a weekend, I could probably. Honestly, I've banged out 80,000 words in 3 days before. Yeah, I could write a book in a weekend. See, how about that? There we go. I got a new charity. Put the left on during the short walk. The other he put in his back pocket. The oven mitts were black. His jeans black. Long sleeve black shirt. Black face mask. The only his uncovered hand, the only reflector of light. He looked like a man trapped in his shadow, only able to punch his hand into this corporeal plane. The real hand opened the door for the shadow. Isn't that fun? Slowly becoming an opening. He creeped in, and eyes adapted to the dark. Eyes already adapted to the dark. To the dark. He spied the keys on the desk. 4 steps to raid the lost ark. To the lost ark. He had a slight hiccup when he attempted to put the other oven mitt on. The currently fit hand was naturally useless in the attempt to glove the other. Jesus Christ, spelling. Get your shit together, Jordan. Currently fit. See, how could you put an oven mitt on your hand while you're already wearing? All right. Once both mitts were equipped, he grabbed the keys inaudibly. Objective complete. He returned to the control room and entered, disabling the automatic alarm set to go off if not handled within 30 seconds. 30 was such a small time in the light of day, yet at the 4 a.m. hour, 30 seconds were an eternity, were enough to complete 1,000 tasks. Switches. Placing the world firmly on a new path. Yeah, the door. Rooms made satisfying noise. Foley, say, made the Foley. Made. The door. The noise of the unlocking doors would have made a Foley artist proud, satisfying. All right. If I explode, you'll know why. Satisfying. Satisfying. Click. The locks were gamble number 2. They were on the outside, meaning the sound echoed through the halls, amplified 10 times over. Would a guard awake, or would they? 3 guards. 50-50 shot. Either they woke or they didn't. What's that? 1 and 8. What? A bad gamble is what? Cindy, of course, was attuned to the sound in the way a mother was attuned to her baby's cry. It should be a positive sound. The clicking of freedom. But it was unwelcome when freedom spit it up. Spit it out. They needed to stay in her care to thrive. Rade wasn't one of those, but he wasn't not either. And he didn't like seeing animals, even dangerous ones, in a cage. Smart? Who knows? Not smart is the answer to that question. All animals are dangerous. Through his eyes. Through his eyes. To be caged was the danger. He moved quickly now, racing from room to room with less care for the noise, even if it was a losing gamble. He had one more bet. Trin and Khan would come up with something at the end. And betting on one's friends always pays best. The inmates hopped out of their beds. Assholes. Hopped out of their beds in panic, then relief, then abject hope. The juxtaposition of abject in an unusual spot next to a word that is generally, it's usually abject terror. That's generally the usage of there. Allows us to kind of create a different feeling. Abject hope gives you this idea of, yes, they are hopeful, but gives you the suspicion that I wouldn't have used abject if it weren't a double-edged sword or a negative in some way or another. That little word changes everything. So always do your best to use little words in interesting ways. Allowed to own. They needed no prep to escape. They could run. Slingshot through the door, forcing them to a gallop. Unsure of what waited, whether it be an out trip or a trip deeper in. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man, dig it. That's a good thing. I like bringing dig it into here because as I was putting this together, I had split the last chunk with this chunk, and I was thinking about that, and I was thinking if I wanted to do this in a really interesting way, I would double down on the scroll, right? Only instead of telling one complete story through one point of view, tell one complete story in the same scroll style as you're, on the road or whatever, or Fear and Loathing, through multiple points of view. So same time, same movement through 4 dimensions, kaleidoscopic points of view. I'm existing in all of the characters, and so are you. We're not just existing inside some fucking beat poet's asshole brother or whatever. That's how I feel about all the 50s. Cindy and Guard 1 were in the hall, watching bats fly by, dazed. Guard 2 fell the fuck back to sleep. No, come on, Jordan. You can't do that. That's just for you. That's just for you, you cheater. Guard 2, guard 1 yelled stupidly. Ugh. Do you hear that? Stupidly. God, I hate that word. And that's why it goes there. Makes sense? I want you to feel how stupid he is, so I'm using a stupid word. It sounds gross. Get back to your rooms. Do you hear how stupid that sounds? It sounds gross. Okay. Cindy gave him a look that withered forests. He realized why the next day, but only acted like he understood in the moment. The inmates ignored him. There was nothing he could do. 7 men and 12 women were gone in a flash. Guard 1 gave chase. Hey, guess what? Guards don't get names. Yes, the DOT is Kerouacing. Guard 1 gave chase. Cindy remained. She returned to her room to grab her phone and change into outside clothes. They were escaping, yes, but for her, she could do the same. The actions available to her would be no different an hour from now. Only she would be dressed comfortably. There was no rush. And besides, as always, the police would be kinder to her. The police are police kindness is directly proportionate to the attractiveness of their victim. And yeah, I'm using their rebel. Rebel! And she was collected. She made the call, leaving her room, headed to the front desk. Headed front desk-ward. She saw Rade with a large gas can, spreading the future about. 'Cause why the fuck not? The one from the holding a flint. He caught her eye and looked sheepish. The shameful reaction was involuntary. An authority figure in the institution caught him doing wrong. Just caught him doing. An authority figure caught him. An authority figure from his past. Darkwing Duck caught him. An authority figure caught him being bad. Oh, yeah. Being bad. Obedience begins in the mind, and there it ended for Rade. He uncoiled. I suggest you leave. He uncoiled and adopted his big boy voice. What we call my dog Jake's big dog barks. Oh, I'm a big boy. Adopted his most commanding tone. Put the can down, please, Mr. Potter. Cindy possessed the experienced tone of command. Possessed a tone. In contrast, Cindy's tone. Cindy's tone commanded in a... Jesus Christ. Put your words together. In contrast. Contrast. Cindy had no affectation. Her tone commanded naturally. When she she did not repeat. Mere weeks ago, this tone would have disarmed him. He would have folded into connection. Now, nothing could strengthen his resolve more. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. He bristled visibly. He just bristled. You know he bristled. You know what bristling is. Nope. Nope. Please put it down. You have to understand. Jeez. This is just one. This won't help you. Talking is done. Rade hadn't thought. It was after the words. It was after. Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that fun? We're doing speedrunning. We're speedrunning a novel. I can't wait to see what our previous split is gonna be. Six months, 3 days, 9. All right. You know what? There's some free time saves in there. It was after the words. Touched the air that he believed them. Words were not his domain. For his life, arguing had no further use. He resumed spreading the accelerant. No. No. Talking is why we're not animals. We can talk this out, and everyone can be safe. Everyone, we can go back to where we were, and we can help you. I can help you. I'm not sure what exactly it is you're going through. There's nothing we can't work together to solve. To endure. And then things will change. They always do. And then you'll be through it, and then they'll be done, and then later on, and then you will be free, and then you'll be done. Nah, she's fine. If you talk to me, we can figure it out. He remained silent. It's okay. Everything is fine. All you need to do is calm down and think about what it is you're doing. There's no after this. Some decisions you cannot take back. Some things you cannot take back. Some things you cannot take back. All you need to do She raised her arms. She raised her arms above her head. She raised her arms. She raised her hands. Palms out toward him. Palms out. She raised her hands, palms out. Trying to, what's the signaling no threat. Some things you cannot take back, she says. But if you stay here, this is a place of healing. Ha! Nope. I'm not doing it. It is. People in Mike. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean these people, the people in my care, aren't better off than they were. We are a community here, and we help each other. They help me as much as I do them. If you follow through, there's no welcome for you anywhere. You will be impossible to forgive. Impossible to forgive. You will be impossible to forgive. Her reaction insulted him. I am not keeping you here. He wanted to scream. I am not in your way. You are in mine. Get out. But arguing was her trick. To talk was to stand still. And tonight, and this morning, he couldn't stand still. This morning, standing still was death. Rade had never known need this great. The need to survive, to overcome or die. No other options. Today, purpose bubbling within him like magma. He needed to live, and there was only one way. He erupted. All right. So that's me showing everybody that I can do that if I wanted to. Oh, you don't like the way that I normally write? Well, cram it. I'll write like this for you. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Then here you go. There's One Piece. Not the TV show. Anime. Not One Piece. All right. How's that for a good little chapter end? That's a nice little chapter close. Molly's jet landed at the Topeka Regional Airport to the shock of air traffic. To the shock of an unpracticed air traffic control, the pilot had altered the flight plan late to throw her father off the trail, at least for a while. The ruse would... The ruse! The ruse! The ruse! The ruse! The ruse! The ruse. But as much time as he had interest in her, which was, depending on the day, a lot or none at all. Dads, am I right? Over the radio, the pilot. All right, that was a cheap joke. That was a cheap joke. I made a Boeing joke there, and unfortunately, if you want to date yourself, what am I, fucking Jay Leno? You hear about what happened with the Boeing guys? Imagine doing Leno in a book. When they came to a full stop. Did they? They came to a full stop. Taxiing to the terminal, then plane came to a stop. Plane landed. Taxied to the terminal. Turned back, and she then disembarked away from the confused locals drinking early at the bar. At the only open bars. That's fun. That's a nice little... Why not take a dig at fucking Topeka, Kansas Regional Airport? Do they have a bar in their regional airport? Absolutely not. But this is fiction. Or maybe they do have a bar. I don't know. I've never been there. I could look it up, but this is fiction. We don't have to look things up in the world that you create. You just make it up. Knowing reality is the worst thing you can do. The mechanics rushed out, assuming emergency. Otherwise, why land at Topeka Regional Airport? The pilot met them with a shrug and said, I guess we misread the signs. Misread the beeps. Beeps and boops. That's what I've got for you. That's writing. Misread the beep. We misread the beeps. What are you gonna do? She's gonna use the bathroom, and then we'll get out of here. This confused them still further, as there were multiple bathrooms on her private jet. A pilot met them with a shrug and said she likes the Topeka bathrooms. And those were his last words. his jacket. Pulled a one-hitter. They shared it. During the exchange, Molly slipped by and passed. The things airports have, the barricades airports have in place to keep people from just walking out like it's the 70s. She was at the taxi stand and on her way to the institution in minutes. She was, however, several hundred minutes late to see four. She had expected to see a building, but she was several hundred minutes late. Wait for that. She was right on time for rubble. Taxi let her out. Hundred feet from the yellow caution tape. She surveyed the various emergency services, reacting to the destruction like bees. Recovering. Reacting to the destruction in their...
I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm afraid it's nothing more than a daydream.
Appropriate ways. I hope that the rain. She surveyed the various emergency services, reacting to the destruction in their appropriate ways. In their appropriate ways. In their appropriate ways. Their appropriate ways. That's trash. Reacting to the destruction in their assorted manners. In their assorted manners. What is this? Fucking candy? Assorted. In their prescribed. In their professional. In their what way? What way do they act, Jordan? Reacting to the destruction. In their specific way. And their respective. Reacting to the destruction. Respectively? No. I can just... No, I don't need to... You get it. various emergency. Yeah, see, okay. In this case, by saying various emergency services reacting to the destruction, you know that we have different, we have the cops or whatever. You see in your mind the fire trucks plus the ambulances plus the cops. So I don't need to have a descriptive element to that. You've got that in your own head. A descriptor only makes me look like a fucking asshole. Yeah. See? The blues. The light spun, leaving little evidence. We're using the lights as a... What is it? What is it? Apostrophe? Apostrophe? I never remember. Is it pronounced the same way? Apostrophe, the thing, and then apostrophe, the literary device. The light spun, leaving little evidence of their... leaving nothing permanent behind, So I'm using the lights to describe the way that they, The lights are a stand-in for all. So that's what's that called? What the fuck is that called? God damn it. What is that fucking called? I mean, you could call it synecdoche, but it's not really because the lights are technically a small part of it. I suppose if you wanted to synecdoche it, leaving no permanent evidence, leaving no permanent mark. Yeah. Read through that, dickwads. She looked for a handsome fireman. Trope. Not knowing why. Only reacting as if she were watching a TV show. And the fireman. The fire and the fire people. The fire people. Reacting as if she were watching a TV show. Not knowing why. Not aware of why. Not aware of why she reacted. Why she reacted as if she were watching a show. As if she were watching this on TV. Watching TV. As if she were watching a soap opera. Soap opera. Unaware of why or even that she reacted as if she were watching a soap opera. She looked for a handsome fireman, unaware of why or even that she reacted as if she were watching a soap opera. Ba da 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 da. All right. Good. Blocks before she arrived at the rubble, she knew, she saw, she already knows she's too late. Knowing she's too late, she was too late. Nah, she doesn't. She, what? Get out of here. She looked for a handsome fire. Do we even need that? Does it improve your understanding of this character? I guess it shows that she's a detached, rich. She's a detached, rich kid. So I want you to think that she's watching. She's like watching everything like it's a soap opera. So yes, I do want that in there. I do want you to think that she didn't know them from real life. Like most things, like most people, she didn't know them from real life. Yeah, all right. She felt something off. Beyond. She felt off. She felt them. She felt the first eye. She felt something on her. She felt them. She felt it. She felt the collected eyes turn from work to her. She felt them evaluate her. Dismiss her. She felt them evaluate her, dismiss her, and then the dark desire to dominate. From them, she felt. No, she felt them. She felt evaluate her, dismiss her, and then the dark desire to dominate her. Dark desire to dominate. Some might say I use alliteration too much, but others might say I haven't ever read anything you wrote. And they would both be right. quick action. She would lose ability to without if she didn't act quick, she needed to act quick. She had to take them by surprise. She had to dominate first. If she didn't want to be dominated, she had to go from that, the dark desire to dominate her. In response, the family crest burnt on the back of her eyelids. Stop me came to mind. She singled out the closest important looking. Crazy old Maurice, eh? Crazy old Maurice. Closest important looking layabout and bounded toward him at speed.